Dear pupils, parents and guardians, let me start by thanking you for being a part of all our remote learning platforms, particularly our television program, The Classroom in Your Home. Each feedback has been awesome. Good job, you. Our teachers have been working assiduously to bridge the learning loss during this critical period. Therefore, I am pleased to inform you that the Classroom in Your Home has been extended to accommodate the lower primary classes and a dedicated lesson to cater for our special needs pupils in line with our mandate of providing an all-inclusive and quality basic education in our dear state. This program is fully sponsored by the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and supported by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board under the COVID-19 Blended Learning Intervention Initiative. Please encourage your wards to tune in and take every advantage of this laudable program. Also remember, this pandemic is not over. Let us continue to abide by all health and safety guidelines as stipulated by the government. At LASUBEB, we are determined to leave no child behind in our quest to improve the standard of basic education in our state. Thank you.
Hello pupils, you're welcome to another wonderful edition of your favorite program, The Classroom in Your Home, a program sponsored by the Universal Basic Education Commission and packaged by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, LASUBEB. It is to ensure that you are academically engaged in addition to what you're learning in school. I am Auntie Fumi, your English Studies teacher, and I have with me your wonderful teachers.
Hello children, hi, I'm Uncle Agbaje, your mathematics teacher.
Uncle Popo, General Studies teacher.
And we have in the house our beautiful sign language interpreter, Auntie Rosemary. Together, we are bringing the classroom into your home. Please stay tuned. Hello pupils, you're welcome to Auntie Fumi's class. And in today's English Studies lesson, we will look at prefix and suffix. We will look at prefix and suffix, but we'll focus on what we call root. R-O-O-T, root, yes. It promises to be fun, but I need your full attention. Before we go into the learning objective, let's have the correction to the previous homework. You were asked to supply appropriate prefixes and suffixes. And we gave you an example. We said legal. Then it became illegal, IL as the prefix, and illegally, LY as the suffix. Were you able to do it? I trust you. You are amazing children. So let's mark the correction now. You are amazing children. And let us celebrate ourselves with a cheer. Well done. Now to the learning objective for today. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to define root. Root, R-O-O-T. Don't forget I said our topic will be prefix and suffix, and we are going to focus on root. You will know what a root is as the lesson proceeds. You must be able, or you should be able to define roots, and you should be able to identify the root in any given word. You should be able to do what? Identify the root in any given word. Let's go into the lesson now. What is a root? A root is the smallest or basic part of a word which shows the main meaning. I take that again. A root is the smallest or the basic part of a word which shows its main meaning. It is the root which is joined by a prefix or suffix. You've been having some words, you've been putting a prefix before the word, you've been adding a suffix at the end of the word. That main word is the root. That word that you are adding prefix and suffix to is the root. Yes, good job you. That is the root. That word you are given to add a prefix to it or a suffix to it is the root. Good job you. In effect, a root is the original word to which a prefix or suffix is added. A root is the original word to which a prefix or suffix is added. Now you understand. Let's have examples of root words. Some examples of root words are happy, solve, come. Happy, solve, come. We can add prefixes to these roots to get. You can add on. You can add on to happy to give you what? Unhappy. When you add un on to happy, you get unhappy. When you add dis to solve, you get dissolve. And when you add wel to come, you get welcome. You've been able to add prefixes to the three words. Don't forget, we call the words the root. You've added prefixes to the root. On, this, and well are the prefixes. In the same vein, suffixes can be added to those words. We can add ness, nt, and ly to those words. When we add ness to happy, we get happiness. When we add ness to happy, we get happiness. When we add nt to solve, we get solvent. And when we add ly to come, we get comely. Are you following? Good. Again, both prefix and suffix can be added to a root to get a longer word. We can add a prefix and a suffix to a root to get a longer word. For example, on is the prefix and ness is the suffix. When we add them to the word happy, what are we going to get? Unhappiness. When we add the prefix on and the suffix ness to the root, which is happy, it gives us this word, unhappiness. When on is added to happy to obtain the word unhappy, no letter was removed, no letter was changed. The same applies to the word dissolved. When you added this to solve, no letter was changed. But in the word welcome, well as the suffix to the word come, L was removed before the new word was created to give us welcome. That's why in welcome, you don't have two L, you have just one L. Well, W-E-L, and come. So we have welcome. Also in happiness, the Y in the word happy was changed to I before ness was added to give us on the word unhappiness. Let's look at further examples. Prefix, the root, and the suffix. Look at the root, agree. Agree. We have a prefix, this, and we have the suffix, meant. For us to have the word disagreement. For us to have what? Disagreement. So in the word disagreement, you can identify the word, the root, the prefix, and the suffix. The root is what? Agree. The prefix is what? This, and the suffix is meant. Good job, you. Look at another example. The root is port, P-O-R-T, port. We have the prefix x, ex, and the suffix ed to give us the word exported. To give us the word exported. So, if you're given the word exported, for you to identify the root, the prefix, and the suffix, I trust you'll be able to do it very well now. It is easy. Another root is manage. Manage is the root here. And we have the prefix miss. and the suffix ment to give us the word mismanagement. Mismanagement. Another one is disappear. In the word disappearance, in the word disappearance, we have appear as the root. The prefix is dis, and the suffix is ans to give us the word disappearance. Now it's activity time. Did you really enjoy the lesson? We've been able to look at words that are root words. That is a word that has a meaning, that has a main meaning on its own, a meaning on its own. And when we now add prefix to it and suffix to it, we get a longer word. So I know that by now you should be able to identify the prefix, the suffix, and the root of any given word. So it's activity time. Supply both prefix and suffix to each of the following roots to make them longer. Supply prefix and suffix to each of the following roots to make them longer words. The words are joy, regular, respect, moral, and legal. I give you 1 minute to do that, and your time starts now. Welcome back. By now, you ought to have been able to give me the prefix and suffix to the given root or root words. Now it's correction time. Let's see how well you've been able to supply prefix and suffix to the given word or words. Number 1, joy. Joy. The prefix added is n, and the suffix is ment. So this is the prefix, this is the root, and this is the suffix. So giving us the word enjoyment. Enjoyment. Number 2, regular. Regular. The prefix is ir, that is, the prefix is ir. The root is regular, and the suffix is ity, riti, or you can also say ly to give you irregularity or irregularly. If you have any of the two words, you are correct. Number 3, respect. Respect. We have a prefix here, this. The root is respect. You've been given that already. And the suffix is full to give you the word disrespectful. Disrespectful. Did you get that? Please mark if you do. Please mark if you did. Number 4, moral. Moral. We have the prefix I am. I am. We have the root, which is the word moral, and the suffix ty. You can also have ly to either give you immorality or immorally. Number 5, legal. Legal. You can give the prefix on or ill. Any of the words can go. The roots, legal, and the suffix, either ized or ly, to give you unlegalized or illegally. Any of the two words will go. Did you get the 5 correctly? Are you sure? Then let me celebrate you with a cheer. You are amazing. I am proud of you. Now to your homework. You know, Auntie Fumi doesn't joke with homework. For your homework, you have to identify the roots in the following words. Identify the roots in the following words. Inappropriately. 2, undoubted. 3, discouragement. 4, unprofessional. 5, unfairly. And 6, invisibility. Please copy this assignment for the next 30 seconds, and I will be back to sign out. And that's it for today. We've enjoyed learning prefix and suffix, the roots. We've been able to identify the root of any given word. Then, well done, children. It's time for me to hand you over to the mathematician for a well-packaged mathematics lesson. Don't forget, Auntie Fumi loves you. She's proud of you. Well done.
Hello children, you are welcome to this segment of the program, The Classroom in Your Home. It is mathematics time, and you know what? Let me welcome you today with a song. I'll say, hello, 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 how are you? It's mathematics time with Uncle Agbaje. And then you reply me and you say, hello, hello, Uncle Agbaje. It's mathematics time and we want to have some fun. Shall we go again? Hello, hello, how are you today? It's mathematics time with Uncle Agbaje. Hello, hello, Uncle Agbaje. It's mathematics time and we want to have some fun. All right, today is Monday and we're going to begin with that mathematical marathon, which I call the Math-a-thon. Do you have your pen? Do you have your paper? You know how it goes. 10 questions, 50 seconds. Are you ready? Let's go. Alrighty then, time up. I believe that you are done. Let's check out the answers. How many were you able to do? Alright, these are the answers. 99, 23, 114, 12, 13, 24, 105, 55, 22, and 91. Did you get all? Well, if you did not, keep practicing. If you did, good job you. Now let's see what we have for today. Today we will continue our work on basic operations, but we did addition and subtraction in the previous week, and so this week we're going to be looking at multiplications. You know, all the things that we've been doing on Magic Tuesday builds up to this moment, and as a pupil when you are able to scale that multiplication order, mathematics becomes very, very easy. Before that, let's check out the correction to the previous homework. You were asked to add and subtract these fractions. So without wasting much time, write them out. Then we bring down the whole number, 3 and 5 in this case, and the fractions to the other side. 3 plus 5, of course, is 8. The LCM of 3 and 4 is, of course, 12. And when you change these fractions to fractions with denominators of 12, you will have 4 over 12 and 9 over 12. Now, 4 plus 9, because 4 12th, 9 12th. Just add the numerators, 4 and 9. I've told you we do not add the denominators. Okay, that gives us 13 out of 12. But 12 out of 12 is one whole. So when you remove 12 out of 12 from 13 out of 12, you are left with 1 out of 12. And so this one is a whole number, and we cannot leave it with the fractions. So we'll bring it down to the whole number part. 8 plus 1 is 9. So our final answer is 9 and 1/12. 9 1/12. Okay, I'm sure you got that one right because it was easy. Let's see the next one. This one says we are to subtract 6 2/5 from 9 and half. And so we'll bring down 9 and 6, which are the whole numbers, and then half and 2/5, which are the fractions, separately. Remember that the signs for both of them will be minus, minus. Okay, 9 minus 6 is 3, easy peasy. Here, the denominators are 2 and 5. The LCM of that is 10. And so when we change these fractions to fractions with denominators of 10, we will have 5 over 10 here, and then 4 over 10 here. Now 5/10 and 4/10, like saying 5 apples minus 4 apples, we have 1 apple. And so 5/10 minus 4/10 is 1/10, and we have 1/10. No problem here. And so we have 3 O's and 1/10, and our final answer is 3 1/10. As simple as that. I'm sure you got this one too. And so let's move on to today's learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to appreciate the idea of multiplications. You should also be able to multiply large numbers using the grid method. Now, you should be able to multiply decimal numbers as well. Like I have said, multiplication is not something you are not familiar with, so I'm just going to be moving quickly. Let's start. To multiply a number is the same thing as adding the same number to itself, a specified number of times. A specified number of times. Okay, so what does that mean? Look at this. If a crate of eggs contains 30 eggs, like this, 30 eggs. And now we have 2 crates. I mean, we do have to, without taking the top crate off and then counting the second one, we can know how many eggs will be there altogether. It will be 30 eggs for the one on top, 30 eggs for the one below, and that is 30 plus 30. All right. Now, what about if there are 6 crates of eggs like this? How many eggs will that contain? That is 30 plus 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 30. Again, 30 plus 30 plus 30. 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30. But we can write this as 30 in 6 places, which is 30 times 6. When we're talking about LCM and HCF, we did say that. Okay, let me use the right pen. For instance, if we write 2 times 2 times 2, it is the same thing as writing like 2 with the power of 3. So in this case, 2 plus 2 plus 2 is the same thing as saying 2 times 3. So 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30 is the same thing as writing 30 plus 6. So if you find that you have a problem where you need to add the same number over and over again, just multiply them instead. Work will be faster. All right. Multiplication is commutative. And what do we mean by commutative? It means that it is not relevant the way we arrange them. It doesn't matter whether 2 comes before 4 or 4 comes before 2. As long as we are multiplying them, we will always get the same answer like this. Here there are 8 squares vertically, 4 squares horizontally. That is 8, 8, 8, 8. That is 8 times 4. But it's the same thing as if you say 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. You get 32. See, 8, 16, 24, 32. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. It doesn't matter whether you say 4 times 8 or 8 times 4. You will always get 32. Okay, so think, is addition commutative? Did you say yes? Did you say no? Addition is commutative because 2 plus 1 is the same thing as 1 plus 2. Whether you add 2 to 1 or you add 1 to 2, you get the same thing. Is subtraction commutative? Did you say yes? No. Subtraction is not commutative. Take away 2 from 1, it's not possible. Take away 1 from 2, you get 1. They are not the same thing. So addition is commutative. Subtraction is not commutative. All right. Now let's look at the method that is very common on the streets. The long method of multiplying numbers. Usually we will say that to multiply, for example, 48 and 72, we'll do it like this. We'll write 48 on top or 72 below or anyone before, anyone on top, anyone below. Then we'll say 2 times 8. We'll get 16. Then we'll carry 1 like this. Then we'll say 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1, 9. Then we say 7 times 8. And we have to write that answer, 56 here. Okay, we'll carry 5 to the top again. And then we'll say 7 times 4, which is 28. Then we had 5, which is 33. And then we had all these numbers together, and we get 3,456. But the thing about this long method is it can be very confusing. Sometimes when you carry 1 from here, and you take it here like this, sometimes you can get confused. Do I add 1 to 5 before multiplying, or do I multiply before adding? If I multiply, do I put it here or here? Am I starting the multiplication from here or here? There are so many confusions with this method. And that is why there are other better methods of multiplying numbers. I have taught you the Japanese method. I have taught you the Chinese method. Today I will teach you the grid method, which is a very simple method for multiplying numbers. Okay, so let's see that grid method in action. Multiplying using the grid method, the same number, 48 by 72. To use the grid method, all we have to do is write every number according to their values. Now, do you remember values? This is 48. The value of 4 is 40. The value of 8 is 8. This is 72. The value of 7 there is 70, 7/10. And the value of 2 is 2. So when we want to use the grid method, we draw a box like this, write the numbers according to their values. 48, 7, 2. Then we partition the box below. They put a line in between the numbers, just like we normally do for the Chinese method, except that this time we don't put diagonals. Now, what we put in each box depends on what is on top and what is on the side. Here we multiply 8 and 70 and put it here. Here we multiply 2 and 8 and put it here. Here we multiply what's on top, 40, what's beside, 70. And here we multiply whatever is on top and whatever is beside, and that is 40 and 2. Now, there is nothing to get scared about, actually. Don't be thinking 40 times 70. How will I know that one? Oh, it's very easy if you use one of the tricks that I've taught you in Magic Tuesday. So let's go. Here we'll get 560. And that is because when we want to multiply numbers like this, we only multiply the significant digits. 8 and 7. 8 times 7 is 56. Then you had 1 0, which is there. Let's check out the next one. Here you get 2,800. And that is because 4 times 7 is 28. Then you take this 1 0 and this other 1 0 and put it there. That is 2,800. And here, the number on top is 40, and the number here is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Then there is 1 0, so you put it there. You get 80. And then here you get 8 times 2, because 8 is on top and 2 is below. It doesn't matter which one you do first. Just put the number on top and the number beside, multiply them together and put it in the box. Then these are the numbers that you need for your answer, and all you have to do, my friend, is just add them together. 2,800, 560, and you get, what do you get? Let's see. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 6. You take a white pen. Okay, so this gives us 6. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 6 is 15. And then carry 1. 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 5 is 14. Carry 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. And so we get the same answer. We get 3,456. But this method calls for no confusion. And so this is the method that we'll be adopting for our multiplication problems. Do you want to try some of your own? It's your chance. Multiply 927 by 84. I'll give you 1 minute 20 seconds. Begin. Alrighty then, I believe that you are done by now. Let's just quickly review the process together. You are to multiply 927 by 84. So we draw a box, put the values 900, 2 tens, 7 units, 8 tens, 4 units. Then 9 times 8 is 72. 3 zeros altogether, we put 3 zeros. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 zeros altogether. 7 times 8 is 56, 1 0. Then 9 times 4 is 36, 2 zeros. 2 times 4 is 8, 1 0. 7 times 4, of course, is 28. Then we have to add all these numbers together. And so we do the arrangement right here. And then we bring down the numbers and we see that the final answer is 77,868. Is that the answer that you got? Excellent job, you, my friend. Now, before we call it a day for today, let us see how to multiply decimal numbers using the grid method. Well, multiplying decimal numbers, we could actually use the values of the numbers. But you know, I don't like to prolong the matters for you. I like you to use the shortest method possible. So what we're going to do when we want to multiply decimal numbers is that we're going to pretend as if the decimal points are not there. So to multiply 7.25 by 2.8, we would actually be multiplying 725 by 28. And when we get our answer, the problem now will become how to place the decimal point. And so it's a simple process of just doing 725 by 28. As you can see, 720 and 5 for 725, 20 and 8 for 28. Then 7 times 2 is 14. We have 3 zeros there, so we had it. Here we will have 2 times 2, which is 4, then 2 zeros. 5 times 2, which is 10, then the other 1 0. 5 times 8, which is 40. I've said you can do any one first. 5 times 8 is 40, just write it. 20 times 8, 2 times 8 is 16, add 1 0. 7 times 8 is 56, and there are 2 zeros. Now we add everything together as normal, and we add that to get zeros. 6 plus 4 is 10, carry 1 to the next place. Also carry 1 to this place. Okay. Now 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 4 is 11, 12, and 13. And so we get 13. All right, 3, carry 1 to the next place. 1 plus 4 is 5, and 5 plus 5 is 10. So we'll write 0 and carry 1 to the next place. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. And so our final answer is 20,300. But we are not done, my friend, because in the first place, we were not supposed to multiply 725 by 28. We were supposed to multiply 7.25 by 28. So the problem now is, how do we place the decimal point? It's a very easy problem, my friend. First, look at the decimal point here. On the right side, you have 2 digits. Look at the decimal point here. On the right side, you have 1 digit. So altogether, we have 3 digits. 2 after the decimal point here, 1 after the decimal point here. That's 3 digits after the decimal point. And so in your final answer, you will have 3 digits after the decimal point. So all you do is that you space out your digits, bring down your decimal point. You know, for 20,300, this is the unit digit, and you will always have decimal point after the unit digit. Then you need to relocate your decimal point to make sure that there are 3 digits after. So you count like this: 1, 2, and finally 3. And you have 3 digits there, and your final answer is 20.300. We'll work more on this in the next lesson, but I'll give you something in the assignment to try out. That assignment is coming up right now. You have to find the product of the following pairs of number. Write it in 20 seconds. Begin. Alrighty then, like I have said, we'll work more on decimal multiplication in the next lesson. We have come to the end of today's lesson. I will hand you over to Uncle Popo for that general studies class, which as usual, I promise you, will be interesting. Till I come your way in the next lesson, remain wonderful mathematicians. Bye now.
Hello, pupils. You are welcome to General Studies class. I am Uncle Popo. Uncle Popo is here.
I am also here.
Good. We are here together.
100% attention.
Brilliant one. 100% attention is what I need from you in today's lesson. Our subject for today is Basic Science and Technology. Basic Science and Technology is the subject for today. In our last lesson, we discussed erosion. We talked about erosion. We said that in our last lesson, we discussed erosion. Erosion is the leaching away of the topsoil of the soil, either by water or by wind. We discussed types of erosion, wind erosion and water erosion. We talked about different types of water erosion, rill erosion, sheet erosion, and gully erosion. Today, we are moving further to another topic, and it's still on erosion. We want to talk about effect and control of soil erosion. That's the topic for today, effect and control of soil erosion. The learning objectives. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to list the effect of soil erosion, and you should be able to state how to control erosion. Having known the meaning of erosion, the types of erosion, let's look at the effect of erosion. Erosion causes a lot of damage and harm in the environment. And some of the effects are the following. The effect of soil erosion. This is just a diagram talking about or showing us what the damage wind erosion or wind erosion or water erosion has caused to this land surface. Now the effect in full. The first one is poor growth and yield of crops. Poor growth and yield of crops. Erosion leads to loss of nutrients in the soil. Though erosion leads to loss of nutrients in the soil through runoff and leaching. Crops planted in such soil will not grow well and the produce will be poor. What we are saying here is poor growth and yield of crops. Erosion is causing this a lot because the nutrient in the soil will have been leached away either by water or by wind, and the nutrient needed for the plant to grow effectively will not be there. So that's one of the effects of soil erosion. Number two is it damages houses and buildings. It damages houses and buildings. Let's look at this diagram. You can see the effect of erosion here. If you have seen this in reality, you see houses or house like this. This is effect of soil erosion. It's either by, majorly it's caused by water erosion. Now the foundation of this kind of house is faulty and it can collapse at any time. And the people will be very scared to live in this type of house because of the fear that it might collapse anytime. So what we are saying here is that erosion damages houses and buildings like you have seen here. Next one is it disturbs transportation. Say that. It disturbs transportation. Strong wind break trees, electric poles, and so on that cause blockage on the roads. Water erosion also eats away parts of roads. Let's look at this picture. I believe you can see the picture clearly now. This is the effect of erosion here, and you can see this type of road. It's supposed that this kind of road is supposed to take like 2 vehicles or 3, but now because of the erosion, it can only take 1, and it's very dangerous with this kind of a road where motors are passing. So it's an effect of erosion. It has disturbed the transportation in this kind of place. Likewise, wind erosion that affects our electric poles and falling down on the major road, it will disturb the free flow of transportation. Likewise, trees at times, that's another effect. So it disturbs transportation. Moving on to the next point, and that is it leads to land wastage. Say that. It leads to land wastage. What do we mean? People leave land that can be eroded for fear of losing their property or crops. I think the diagram here will do the talk more than I want to explain it. Look at it here. this one, this kind of land here is not useful, maybe for planting or for people to pass or for some other purposes. And what is the cause of that? It's just because of the erosion. It has made this land to be to not serve the purpose at which it's supposed to be serving. See how it is, you cannot pass here with your vehicles, and to plant on this kind of land surface would be difficult. So that is another effect. It leads to land wastage. Moving on to the next one, it results in blindness. It results in blindness. Wind erosion can throw particles of sand into people's eyes to cause blindness or eye defect. This is common in desert areas. I believe you have witnessed before where you see wind blowing some sand particles, and at times you cover your eyes that you don't want it to affect your eyes. And those the kind of wind you have witnessed is not as strong as the one I am talking about in the desert. This one will be very strong, that at times it falls down trees, at times it affects buildings, the electric poles, it falls it on the ground. So you can see the kind of that kind of wind. So such kind of wind can even blow sand particles, and if it enters somebody's eyes, it can make somebody to be blind, or it can affect the vision, the seeing of such person. So that is another effect. It results in blindness. And having looked at the effect of soil erosion, let's look at the ways to control soil erosion. We have seen the effect. Now onto the ways to control soil erosion. 1, planting of cover crops. Say that. Planting of what? Cover crops. Cover crops, like when we talk about cover crops, we are talking about beans, melon, groundnut, and so on. Bind the particles of soil together. That's another way to control soil erosion. When we plant cover crops, I've given you examples like beans, melon, groundnut. When you plant those crops, it will bind the soil particles together, and it will prevent erosion on the soil. So that's one of the ways to control soil erosion, planting of cover crops. So the next one, ways to control soil erosion, construction of strong drainage channels. Construction of what? Strong drainage channels. Drainage channel or gutter made with concrete, which allows runoff to flow smoothly to streams and rivers. That is why you see that in our streets, along the road, you see that when a road is constructed, they make sure they try to construct drainage or gutter to allow the free flow of water so that it won't affect the road that is being constructed. So construction of strong drainage channels will help us to allow run of water maybe onto the stream or onto the river so that it won't affect the road. So construction of strong drainage channels is a way to control soil erosion. So the next point, and that is planting of windbreaks. Say that. Planting of windbreaks. Trees planted around the homes and offices help to reduce wind speed and reduce damage to buildings. That is why the government is encouraging people to plant trees, not because it supplies oxygen for human beings to use, but it's serving other purposes, like planting of trees helps us to prevent or reduce the speed of wind around our homes. That's another way. Planting of windbreaks, that is, planting trees around homes or offices help to reduce it. That is why you see that in some foreign countries they like planting trees. That's the purpose, to prevent wind speed. Next one is breaking of slopy land. That's another way. This helps to reduce the speed of runoff. This is a slopy land, you know, it's very easy for erosion to pass, whether wind erosion or water erosion. But when you break the slopy land, it helps to reduce the speed of runoff. And lastly, construction of crossbars between ridges. Crossbars between ridges on the farm helps to reduce water erosion. And that helps on the farm when you construct crossbars between the ridges you have made, so it will help to reduce soil erosion. In today's lesson, we discussed the following. Talking about effects of erosion, you were told about the effect of erosion. We have poor growth and yield of crops, that it damages houses and buildings, it disturbs transportation, it leads to land wastage, and it results in blindness. Ways to control soil erosion: planting of cover crops, construction of strong drainage channels or the gutters around your street, planting of windbreaks, breaking of slopy land, and construction of crossbars between ridges. Now on to evaluation to see and measure how you have given me your 100% attention in today's lesson. Questions. Number 1. List any 3 effects of soil erosion. 3 effects of soil erosion. Question number 2. List 2 ways of controlling soil erosion. 30 seconds to do this. Start. Eyes on me. Uncle Popo is here. I believe you are still there. So let's mark and see how you have performed today. The 3 effects of soil erosion. 1, poor growth and yield of crops. It damages houses and buildings. It disturbs transportation and any of the ones we have discussed in today's lesson. 2 ways of controlling soil erosion: planting of cover crops, construction of strong drainage channels, planting of windbreaks, and the other points we have discussed in today's lesson. If you got all the questions correctly, you deserve to be given a cheer. We have come to the end of today's lesson. Until next time, next lesson, Uncle Popo says, keep on studying. Bye.
My wonderful pupils, we've come to the end of another interesting episode of the Classroom in Your Home.
Interesting indeed. We hope that you have enjoyed yourself. Now, do you want to know the link for today's online assessment? Somebody is saying, who are the winners for today? What of Good Life Magic Juice? Well, we do have for you our regular pack of Good Life Magic Juice, but our today's winners are Babalola Enoch from Orishigun Nursery and Primary School in Koshofe.
Edward Faith from Community Primary School, Odonla in Ikorodu, LGA, and
Emmanuel Oreton from Ifeoluwa Nursery and Primary School, Etiosa.
Tiosa.
You have done wonderfully well, and these packs of Good Life Magic Juice belongs to you. Now, do you want to know what you have to do to claim them? Just send a message to our dedicated phone line, and we will tell you how to go about that. But for now, and from all of us here, we say,
Good job, you.
Now, the link for today's online assessment is bit.ly/Lasube lesson 70. The link again is bit.ly/Lasube lesson 70. You can also visit our online collection of assessments at bit.ly/Lasube tests. There you'll find all our online assessments from lesson 1 to lesson 70. But doing that online assessment has some conditions.
Taking the online assessment is based on if you have access to either your daddy's, your mommy's, your uncle's, or your auntie's Android or smartphones. If not, you have no problem. You have no problem. Just send your questions, your comments, and your homework to 081 50 86 5663. Please do not call that line. SMS and WhatsApp messages only. And when you're sending your homework, I've seen so many assignments submitted without names, without school, without class, without local government. How do I identify you? So make sure you always indicate your name,
Your school,
Your class.
and your local government. That is the only way for you to win packs of Good Life Magic Juice.
All the lessons taught today and the previous lessons on the classroom in your home are on Lagos Suburb YouTube channel for you to watch at your own preferred time. Subscribe to Lagos Suburb YouTube channel to get notification when new videos are uploaded. The classroom in your home could be watched on Facebook through the page showing on the screen.
Till our next lesson, when we shall meet again on another beautifully packaged edition of The Classroom in Your Home. Please make sure you do your homework.
Wash your hands regularly.
keep studying hard, and
Stay safe. La Suburb.
Leave no child behind.
This is to inform the general public that registration of children for admission into Nursery 1 and Primary 1 will commence in all public nursery and primary schools in Lagos State from Monday 21st September through to Friday 23rd October 2020. The minimum registration age for Primary 1 is 6 years. That is, only children born between 1st April 2014 and 31st March 2015 whose parents or guardians are residents in Lagos State are qualified for registration. Application for registration should be obtained from the head teachers of all public nursery and primary schools in the state. Parents and guardians should register in the school nearest to their homes. Registration is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Application forms must be accompanied by 3 passport-sized photographs of the child, birth certificate of the child, evidence that parent or guardian is resident in Lagos State, that is your LASRA registration card, parent or guardian's tax clearance. Completed application form must be submitted to the head teacher of the school from where it was obtained and must reach him or her on or before Friday, 23rd October 2020. No late registration will be considered. Parents are advised not to register at more than one center. Note, registration is free. Announcer, Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, La Suburb.